Okay, so have you ever wondered, like, what if we could actually build custom proteins?
Yeah.
Like tiny little machines that could do specific jobs inside the body?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
It sounds kind of crazy, like science fiction-y,
It
right?
does.
But it's actually closer than you might think.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be talking about today, protein inverse folding.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what this whole deep dive is going to be about.
Great. So it's like having a blueprint of a building,
Right.
but instead of like beams and concrete, you're working with amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, the building blocks of life. And the goal is to figure out, okay, what is the exact sequence of these amino acids? Like, how do you put them together in the right order so that they fold into the precise structure you need?
Oh, that's cool.
So you have the shape, and you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I build that?
That is a great analogy. I love that. And so for this deep dive, the source that we're going to be using is this really awesome research paper from scientists at East China Normal University and the University of Macau. And they have created this new AI method for protein inverse folding using something called diffusion models.
Right, which is really cool.
And it's kind of blowing up the scientific community.
Yeah.
I think I've seen a lot of papers and a lot of press releases and stuff like that about it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a huge step forward because protein structures are so complex, right?
They are.
I always think of it like a tangled ball of yarn, but on like a molecular level.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, it's really, really intricate. And previous methods have struggled to kind of capture all of those twists and turns.
Right.
But this new method that utilizes these diffusion models is really getting us closer to that goal of designing proteins from scratch.
Oh, wow. So, okay, how do these diffusion models actually work?
Um, well, you can think of it as like taking a blurry picture and slowly bringing it into focus.
Yeah.
So the AI starts with kind of like a vague idea of what the protein sequence should look like,
Uh-huh.
and then gradually, step by step, refines that sequence until it achieves the desired structure that we're looking for.
Okay, and this new method that we're talking about is called DMRA,
Right.
and it has two secret weapons, the shared center and representation alignment.
Exactly.
Can you talk about those a little bit?
So the shared center, you can think of it like giving the AI like a bird's eye view of the entire protein landscape,
Uh-huh.
like seeing how all the amino acids fit together.
Okay.
It helps the AI to kind of see how everything needs to work in harmony to achieve that final folded form.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then there's representation alignment,
Yeah.
which is almost like you're giving it a handbook
Yes.
of all the different amino acid building blocks.
Absolutely. That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it has this handbook that helps the AI understand the properties of each amino acid, like its size, shape, its charge. And then based on all that information, it can choose the best fit for each position in that protein sequence.
Oh, wow. So it's not just randomly picking.
Exactly.
It's thinking about it. It's making these informed choices.
That's really cool. So, what are the results like?
Well, the results are really impressive. DMRA has outperformed all the previous methods
That's awesome.
by achieving a much higher accuracy in predicting these amino acid sequences.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it didn't just work on the data that it was trained on.
Right, and that's actually one of the most exciting parts.
Yeah.
It also performed amazingly well on completely new data sets that it had never seen before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that suggests that it's actually learned something really fundamental about protein folding,
That's huge.
It's learned something that can be applied to a wide range of proteins, not just a select few that it was trained on.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So that means we can maybe design proteins for things that we haven't even imagined yet, right?
Yeah, potentially. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
The paper actually includes some visuals that I think are really interesting that show how DMRA actually works.
Yeah, they're really cool.
So can you talk about those a little bit?
So for example, figure 6 shows how the AI's focus kind of gradually sharpens as it's processing information,
Uh-huh.
and it zeroes in on the correct amino acid type for each position.
Right.
It's like watching a detective solve a case,
Oh.
eliminating suspects one by one until they find the culprit.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's very cool. And then figure 7 demonstrates how accurate the AI is in identifying the right amino acids across multiple positions within a protein.
Oh, wow. So you could actually see it.
Yeah, you can actually see it working step by step, which is really cool to see.
That's awesome. But the question is, do these sequences that the AI is coming up with, do they actually fold into real proteins?
Right, that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And the researchers tackled it head on. They used AlphaFold 2, which is another cutting-edge AI tool, to simulate the folding process of these DMRA-designed sequences.
Oh, so they're using AI to check the work of another AI.
Exactly.
That's neat. And what did they find?
They found something truly remarkable. Figures 8 and 10 in the paper show that the AI-designed proteins, when folded by AlphaFold 2, look strikingly similar to the naturally occurring proteins that they were based on.
Oh, wow.
They have the same twists and turns, the same overall 3D shape. It's a really powerful confirmation that DMRA isn't just creating, theoretical sequences.
Right.
It's creating actual blueprints for functional proteins.
So we're not just talking about a theoretical possibility here.
Exactly.
We're seeing real evidence
Real, tangible evidence.
that AI can design proteins that could function in the real world.
Exactly. And that's where things start to get really, really exciting.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Because we're not just talking about theory anymore. We're talking about potentially designing proteins for all sorts of applications.
Wow.
From medicine and agriculture to energy and materials science. It's really a huge step towards that future where we can design custom-made proteins for all sorts of things.
Oh, cool. But that's a story for another part of our deep dive.
Exactly. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned. Okay, so we've seen how this AI can design these proteins that fold into, the shapes that we need. But what does that actually mean for, you and me?
Right. What could we actually do with this technology?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. If we can design proteins from scratch, we can create entirely new medicines. Medicines that target specific diseases
Okay.
with pinpoint accuracy, so we can really minimize those side effects.
Oh, that would be great. So instead of using drugs that affect your whole body, we could have treatments that are tailored just to you and your specific condition.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And it's not just limited to medicine.
Oh, what else?
Imagine bioengineered materials that are stronger than steel, yet lighter than plastic.
Oh, wow. That would be cool.
Or enzymes that can break down pollutants and help clean up our environment.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So this technology could have a massive impact on so many different fields.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely could. But like with any powerful tool, right?
Yeah.
We need to proceed with caution. We need to consider the ethical implications and make sure that this technology is being used responsibly.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
So what kind of ethical considerations are we talking about?
Well, for example, we need to think about accessibility. Who's going to have access to this technology?
Right.
How can we make sure that it benefits everyone, not just a select few?
Right, because it would be a shame if this incredible technology only ends up helping those who can already afford the best health care,
Exactly. We also need to consider the potential for misuse, right?
Uh-huh.
Could someone use this technology to design harmful proteins?
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely a possibility that we can't ignore.
Right. It's a reminder that every scientific advancement comes with responsibility.
Yeah,
That we need to make sure it's used for good.
absolutely. Now let's dive back into the more technical details of DMRA.
Okay. So the researchers highlight a specific part of the AI called the SIL module.
Okay.
And it plays a really crucial role in understanding the complex relationships between these amino acids.
Got it. So it's not just looking at each amino acid in isolation, it's understanding how they all work together, right?
Yeah, exactly. The cell module allows the AI to see that local environment of each amino acid, helping it understand how all the pieces of this protein puzzle fit together.
That's neat. And they actually proved that that was essential, right?
Right.
They took it out and then it didn't perform as well.
Exactly. Yeah. When they removed that cell module, they saw a huge drop in the AI's performance.
Oh, wow.
So it just highlights how important it is to capture those subtle interactions between those amino acids.
Okay.
They're really the key to understanding how a protein folds.
That's cool. And we also talk about the shared center and its role in understanding those nonlinear features of proteins.
Right.
Can you remind us what those are and why they're so important? Okay, so think about it like this. Proteins don't fold in a simple, straightforward way.
Okay.
There are these hidden patterns and relationships within the structure that really dictate how it ultimately folds.
Like a hidden code.
Yeah, that's a great analogy, like a hidden code that determines the protein's final shape.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the shared center is really what helps the AI to crack that code.
Right.
It gives it that broader perspective,
Right.
allowing it to see the big picture and understand how all the pieces fit together.
That makes sense. And they use something called KL divergence to actually measure how much information the AI was retaining about these nonlinear features.
Right.
It sounds complicated, but basically the takeaway is that the shared center made the AI much smarter.
Yeah, exactly. It allowed it to retain more of that important information about those nonlinear features,
Uh-huh.
which then leads to more accurate prediction.
That's awesome. So it's like it gave it this crash course in protein folding.
Exactly. Yeah. Boosting its understanding to a whole new level.
Nice. Okay, so let's shift our focus to like the practical applications of this research.
Okay.
Um, Remember how we talked about the researchers testing that folding ability of the AI designed sequences using
Oh,
AlphaFold 2?
right.
They wanted to make sure that these AI designed proteins weren't just theoretical, they could actually fold.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
They wanted to make sure that they could form those stable 3D structures.
Right, okay. And what did they find?
The results were incredibly promising. Figures 8 and 10 in the paper show that those AI-designed proteins, when folded by AlphaFold 2, look almost identical to the naturally occurring proteins that they were based on.
Oh, wow.
They had the same overall shape and arrangement of those key structural elements.
So these AI designs, they're not just like random chains of amino acids.
No, not at all.
They're actually forming into these complex functional structures.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And that's really important, right?
Yeah, that validation step is crucial for showing that DMRA isn't just creating, these abstract sequences,
Right.
but actual blueprints for functional proteins. Proteins that could have real-world applications.
Okay, so this is where it starts to get really exciting.
Yeah.
We've talked about drug design and antibody engineering,
Right?
but what does that actually look like?
Right.
Like, could you give us some concrete examples of how this technology could be used?
Sure. Imagine being able to design proteins that can target cancer cells with pinpoint accuracy.
Oh, wow.
So these proteins could actually deliver drugs directly to the tumor,
Okay.
minimizing the damage to the healthy tissue around it.
Oh, that would be a game changer for cancer treatment, right?
Right, absolutely, yeah. No more harsh chemotherapy that affects the whole body.
Right.
It's really targeted therapy that goes straight to the source of the problem.
Yeah, that's incredible.
What else?
We could also engineer proteins to break down pollutants in our environment.
Okay.
Like, imagine proteins that can clean up oil spills or remove toxins from the air.
That would be amazing.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a huge step towards a cleaner, healthier planet.
Exactly. The possibilities are truly vast.
Wow, okay. We could even create new materials with properties that we've never seen before. Imagine materials that are, stronger than steel but lighter than feathers.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
So, it sounds like we're on the verge of a materials revolution.
we are. It's awesome.
It really is an exciting time to be working in this field.
Yeah.
This convergence of AI and protein science has opened up a whole world of possibilities.
Mhm.
But, we need to remember that with great power comes great responsibility.
Of course.
We need to make sure that this technology is being used ethically and for the benefit of all humankind.
Absolutely. Okay, well, on that note of hopeful speculation, we're going to take a quick pause. When we come back, we'll wrap up our deep dive into protein inverse folding with some key takeaways and resources for further exploration. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about all this protein inverse folding stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, right?
It is wild. It's so cool. So I guess let's take a minute to recap everything we've talked about.
Okay, sounds good.
We started by talking about, just how complex protein structures are.
Yeah, those intricate 3D shapes.
Right. They're so essential for pretty much every biological process, right?
Right.
And figuring out the exact sequence of amino acids to get it to fold into that specific structure.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, it's like solving a puzzle, like a molecular puzzle.
Absolutely.
And so traditional methods, they kind of struggled to crack that code.
Yeah, they did.
But this new AI method, DMRA,
Right.
it's using this totally groundbreaking approach called diffusion models.
Yeah,
And I still love that analogy of slowly bringing a blurry picture into focus.
that's a good one.
Yeah, it's refining that sequence step by step until you get that structure you want.
Exactly.
And then we talked about those two secret weapons.
Right, can't forget about those.
The shared center, which gives the AI that bird's eye view, and then representation alignment, which is giving it that handbook of all those properties. And I mean, those innovations, they really helped DMRA get remarkable accuracy.
Yeah, much higher than we've seen before.
Yeah, and the fact that it works on new data sets too.
Right, and that suggests that it's learned something really fundamental about those principles of folding.
That is so cool. And then we saw how they used AlphaFold too, which is that other AI,
Yeah.
to confirm that those sequences actually fold.
Yeah, it's really important to make sure it's not just theoretical, that they actually become these stable 3D structures.
Right, that validation step is, like, huge.
It is. It really shows that those aren't just, abstract sequences. They're actual blueprints
Yeah, for real proteins.
for functional proteins.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, we've talked about the implications of this research,
Right.
and they are vast, right?
They are.
Custom designed drugs, bioengineered materials, and even personalized medicine, which just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in, but it's really exciting.
It is really exciting. It's a future that, I mean, it could be, daunting, but it's also really cool. And I think one thing's clear, AI is changing everything.
It really is. And the possibilities are pretty much limitless at this point.
I agree. Okay, so for anyone who wants to learn more,
Yes, definitely go check out the research paper.
it's called Diffusion Model with Representation Alignment for Protein Inverse Folding.
You can find it online.
Yeah, and there are a bunch of other resources too, like courses and tutorials.
Oh, and don't forget about the protein data bank. That's a great resource for learning more about protein structures and functions.
Yeah, definitely check that out. So there you have it, our deep dive into the world of protein inverse folding.
It's been a wild ride.
It really has. I can't wait to see what happens next in this field. It's going to be awesome.
I know, me too.
All right, well, that's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for listening. And as always, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big questions.